All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It is Tuesday, June 19th, 2018. It's a good day. It's been a productive day. I hope everybody's day has been productive. And last day was fairly awesome, man. A lot of good stuff, a lot of great setups, a lot of things that we wanted to happen happened. And
You're Ryan.
what's up? Who's talking?
You're Ryan.
Yes. Is someone talking? Eric?
That was so weird.
All right, I muted you. I don't know what you're saying. So, it's been a good week. Oh, look at that. GU continued. Hell yeah. A lot of the pairs that we were looking at, guys, were doing exactly what we wanted them to do. So if you racked out, awesome. If you didn't, there's always more days. But we're going to be looking at what we can continue, because today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Well, technically, it is a Wednesday trading day. So, you got midweek reversals coming up, Wednesday, Thursday, whichever one it is that we're going to do. And we are going to look for continuations or possible reversal patterns that are going to be presenting themselves to either reverse tonight or Thursday. So let's get to it. Euro USD. Last night I had it shooting down to the most recent low, bouncing off of it, and eventually possibly shooting up to take out the high that it made for a nice little W for a possible pullback. It didn't pull back all the way, or didn't shoot all the way back up. Hold on. Guys, if you're not muted, if you could just mute yourself, that'd be great. Muting everybody. All right, but mute. Okay. And it shot down. So what we're seeing here on EU could be the actual move that we're going to be waiting for to you actually make this. What is this? Nice. To the reversal up here to finish the overall head and shoulders that we see on the weekly. If you guys haven't seen this already, this has been the prediction. It was divergent on the higher time frame. It was overbought for the RSI. It dropped down, hit the support zone of what happened last year, and that came back up. I'm looking for it to shoot back up, but we were saying that there could quite be a possibility for it to not shoot up, and it actually could break the low. And the reason I say that is because of this RSI. It is beneath the stationary. It's outside of the volatility band. And as of right now, I mean, this is a weekly, so we still have some time. But if this candle closes low, where it's at or lower for the end of the week, I don't expect this thing to shoot up. So we're going to have to be really careful with what we see here over the next couple of weeks on Euro USD. But let's kind of see what we can possibly get as we do this for tonight. Yes, it has to. That's what I just said. So it shot down to hit the support. Now, if we're going to be looking for this to be an actual nice buy, here's the potential W that we're seeing. The double bottom. It didn't hit. It whipped right to it. So if you guys continue to sell down to that bottom last night, you would have made some money. And right now, I still believe that this thing could reverse, but I don't know. Just according to what I'm seeing on that weekly, I don't know if it's actually going to shoot up to this zone. If anything, it will reverse up to the line that I drew here, which will be the water. And this is the daily, so I mean, this still has got time. So this would be a good how many pips away if this were to happen. We'll see from where it's at right here to about here, which is about 230 to 240 pips, depending on where it decides to go. Let me delete this. Go to the 4 hour. 1, 2. If you actually see this overall too, it's like a bigger trade. So ready? You have the first leg of the W, so the second leg. But if you actually notice, so like if this is the potential W playing out, that's what it would end up coming to. But if you guys see closer, come on now. If you guys see closer, this is actually a pattern within itself as well. 1, 2, right? Double bottom again, and you have divergence. So you have price coming up on the RSI, you have price coming down on the regular candlesticks. So you have the second leg. This is overall the second leg of a bigger time frame W, right? Because that's the first leg. And then you have an actual W as the second leg of the bigger W. It's like a pattern within a pattern. And this is how I teach people. It's like inception. You know, every candlestick pattern on a higher time frame is another reversal pattern on a lower time frame, and so on and so forth. And the parts of each pattern on a higher time frame is another pattern. So if you see a head and shoulders, that left shoulder, that head, and that right shoulder could be M's, could be another head and shoulders. You see it everywhere. So it's a pattern within a pattern within a pattern. If we're going to want to see this thing shoot up, if we go down to the hour, well, a couple things are going to happen. I feel like this is going to form a triple bottom, right? So I don't think it's just going to skyrocket like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what we're going to see is because it broke it, it even came back and retested the newfound resistance line after it broke it right here. I think we're going to see another shot down, right? And if it doesn't take out this low, that's when we can potentially start looking for a reversal pattern during the New York session, if you will, because it still has to shoot down, and then reversal up here. Right? Ideally, if you want this to be a nice reversal, you want to wait for it to break the water, which is this 50 EMA, for it to come across as so. And when it breaks the water, you'll notice that it will most likely come back to retest it. If it retests it, you'll see it, the RSI down here, shoot down, up, break the stationary 50, come back, retest it, and then shoot up. That retest right there shall line up directly to where it retests here on the 50. Right? So if it happens like that, then you're looking for buys. If it doesn't, the other possibility that we have, if it doesn't reverse, is according to the higher time frames, this is why it could be a doubtful, is if it drops down and breaks the low. If it breaks the low, this is where it gets easy. Makes a new low, you're waiting for a pullback, retest, continue down. It's that simple. So you're just going to be patient now, because right now, if you are trading this right now, and it's going to drop here, you may be right, but are you sure? Just wait for it to hit this. Do not touch this pair until it hits this zone. Just don't fucking touch it. Hit it, wait for it to touch down here. It's either going to break it or reject off of it and reverse. Those are your only options. You have no reason to play this right now. All right, so that's what we're going to wait for. We have comments. Continue with the trend until sign of reversal. Yep. So we're seeing signs of a reversal, but it has not reversed yet. If you want my honest opinion, none of you should be playing this for a buy until this high is broken. Literally, like until it comes up and it breaks the high to retest and then shoot back up. This high. That's the most ideal zone. If it does not break it, don't look for a buy. If it breaks it, then you can look for a buy. So that's pretty much what we're looking for in EU. And then you would take it to the recent high. But it's funny because that's the right side. And if it breaks this high, then it's going up to this side. If it breaks that high, it's going up to this most recent resistance for that overall head and shoulders. So how do you know what the next bounce is the sign of the next major move? Couldn't it continue to consolidate? Yeah, it could. That's why we wait. That's why we wait. I mean, if you know it's going to start consolidating, I mean, I'll start seeing the EMAs get really close, and on the lower time frames, you'll start seeing it too. But you can't predict that. So the only thing you can do is I wait for these specific patterns, and these patterns that I'm just telling you guys right now are the most accurate and they're precise. That's what I was taught. That's how I've been taught. That's how I always teach now, and that's how I always trade. So you can wait for these perfect moves, and guess what? These moves that are going to happen that I'm telling you that the ones that are possibly going to happen that I just let you guys know is easily 30 to 50 pip move. There's no reason why you shouldn't grab 30 to 50 pips. And that's all you really need. 30 to 50 pips on EU with 10 standards. You're not going to bitch about it. You're not going to bitch about that. Let's go to U Chief. All right, so U Chief, we had, I actually remember saying it. Last night I was going over my analysis again. Had it from the water. I said it was going to go down towards the Mayo. or that 144 EMA, and I drew that box, and it's funny because it literally went right to it, right to that box, right in the middle, and then it shot back up. So it's still consolidating. Now this is what consolidation is, when it's going in and out of that station of that EMA 50, when it's going in and out and there is nothing going on. So we may have to be patient with this pair. Let me look at the 4 hour. Hit the high last week, hit the resistance. I'm still thinking this thing's going to shoot up a little bit. If not, it's going to shoot down maybe one more time. I think it's going to hit that water. So tonight, we're going to want to see this thing shoot down to about here and officially hit the water for it to then throw a pattern to then bounce off of it or break through it, retest it, and go down again. Right. So that's what I want to see. Right now, it's in the middle. You don't want to trade in the middle at all. High, buy low, sell high, like that. You guys got to get used to that. Let me see this daily. I don't see any candlestick patterns telling me there's going to be a nice drop. I think this is just going to be a small pullback, possibly getting ready for a bigger time frame consolidation. Just kind of like what it did like last week. You just consolidate it slowly all the way down. What do we got here? We could draw up a trend line here, actually. All right, we got this from here about there. And then you can also use these. Possible zones. So if that's what we're going to see for a nice drop, it could be towards like these areas. So as of right now, it's still valid for a buy. I would look for buys. Stop hunt low, rise. Stop hunt down towards that Mayo, look for a buy. GU. Aha. And this is exactly why we wait for patterns. Because right now, last night, if you were paying attention, I said, I think GU is going to continue. What did it do? It broke it. Right? And I was like, it could continue. This is why I want you to wait for these to happen, especially in these key zones. Like this zone right here is literally the zone you either rack the fuck out or you lose all your money. That sucks. And you have to be patient with it. So if it would have consolidated on this line, probably thrown a pattern, it probably would have reversed. But it didn't do that. So what did it do? It broke it. Now we have a newfound low. After lows are found, lower lows comes a lower high. Right? So ideally, we want to continue. There is no divergence. There is nothing telling me it's going to shoot up right now. I mean, I'm on the 1 hour, so it could be a little early on. Let me check this overall. The daily is oversold, but it's not divergent. Not divergent enough for me. I don't like this. It's not outside of the volatility band. This thing is going to continue, and I said it was going to continue down to this area. So if you guys are looking for this to go, look at the recent weekly low. It falls between the lines of wrong button. Right about right here. 1.30830 and between that low, which is 1.30257. That would be the zone that I want this thing to drop down to this week. So I don't see any signs of a reversal. And guess what? You're continuing with the trend. If there is no signs of a reversal, divergence, double bottoms, double tops, head and shoulders, none of that, you are continuing in the way it's going. And I don't see any of that. So we're continuing in the way it's going. Ideally, stop hunt high, rise. It can either go, if you're looking at the 15-minute, for those of you that like to scalp in, you can either wait for it to hit that water, the 50 EMA, consolidate, and then drop, right? You'll see something pop up. Not sure if there's news in the early morning. Doesn't look like there is. Or it's going to break this, right? Bounce off of it and continue towards the Mayo, which, guys, the Mayo on the 15-minute is the water on the 1 hour. So if it hits that Mayo, which is the water in the 1 hour, it will also line up perfectly with resistance. Ding, ding, ding. And guess what? you sell that. You're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. If you don't see that, you don't trade it. You're gonna be my bitch. You better catch that. You get everything back. I need you out here, bro. All right, so that's what you guys are waiting for. Stop on high drop. UJ. Oh, that's not UJ. This is UJ. UJ continued literally right after we got off the webinar. Every JPY pair that we had going last night, guys, that I said, hey, look for continuation. You just saw it. This shit dropped hard. GJ dropped hard. UJ dropped hard. EJ, AJ, they all dropped hard. Every single one of them. I hope one of you on here caught some of that. I hope some of you did. I know Alexis did and the T did. Like, you guys, these pairs are obvious. And look at this. Can anybody tell me what pair? This is textbook. Look, it broke out of a channel, right? Broke out of a channel. It dropped down to form a new low. Here's the most recent low. Here's the new low. Here's the new high. That's the pullback, right? What else do you guys see? Let's make it down even more basic. This is a 15-minute chart. Oh, hey, yo, I see a channel. That seems like a freaking bearish channel to me, right? Like a bearish, let me draw this to like proportion, right? A bearish, what the fuck? Flag. In and out of the channel. And guess what it has to do in order to break it? Or guess what it has to do in order to drop? Got it. Break it. Ideally breaks it. Consolidate. Small pullback. Drop. And how big is the drop? Look at this drop. Same size. But where do we need to take it, right? So where do we want to take this thing? Where is the take profit zone? If you were to look for one and say you're going to sell. The most recent support, right here. You can go to there. Or if y'all want to be even more safe, because maybe, I don't know if I want to grab all of those pips. I just want to get in and out. Set your take profit at the most recent low that was set yesterday. It's either going to be here or here. Those are the most recent significant zones of support. Most recent. All right, so that's what you guys are looking for. Right, let's get it. Yep. Yes. The UJ doing drop during London a lot, or near either or, whichever one. It's an Asian pair and a US session pair. Look what it's doing. It's throwing a wick. This is why we gotta be patient with this. So I'm gonna wait for you guys. Need to be waiting for this thing to clearly break. Once it clearly breaks, you can look for that retest. Unless this is the retest on a lower time frame, and I'm just not seeing it. If it is, then expect the drop. Look, volatility bands. It came out of volatility band. The momentum push. This could just be a pullback on a lower time frame. How many more minutes do we have? 4 minutes on this candle, and it could just continue to drop. If it does do that, you know your first take profit from where it's at is about. We're looking at it right here. Bro, it's 36 pips. How big is the other one? Let's see. 70 pips. 71 pips. Cake. Cake. Why is this going off? Why are everyone blowing up this? You guys are nuts. All right. AU. What did it do? It continued. It was divergent. AU will do this stuff. It always does this stuff. Let me see. It's 4 hour. Would you look at that? Took out the low. Oh, and it's going down to the most this support. Let's go to the week. This is the daily. I need to see the overall. Well, this was actually guaranteed. This is the drop that we've been predicting ever since it broke out of the channel. And what you guys see what I'm talking about? What we just looked at on UJ, right? So see how this is set up? See how it shoots up and then shoots down? It's going to be shooting down like almost the same size. Look at AU did on the daily. Shot down, consolidated up, shot down, same size as this one. So what just happened here is what I want you guys looking for here. This is obviously the 15 minutes, so this is going to be quicker. This was the daily, so you could have swung this. Notice how the patterns are the same on every time frame. Just one takes longer to form. That's it. So this one dropped. Now that it dropped that far, approximately the same distance as this first drop, we actually might not see a lot of movement out of AU. All right, so expect this pair to consolidate. If anything, you are still selling it. All right, so if you're looking for anything, for any of you thinking about playing AU, you are waiting for a push up to either retest this 13 EMA or the catch up as I call it, or a retest of the resistance to go back down to the recent low. To the recent low. That would be the only ideal thing that I would be cool with. Other than that, there's no reason to buy this. Zero. You have zero reason. 1 hour. Oh, but so-and-so said to buy it in this signal group, and be like, listen, whoever's giving out a buy signal right now doesn't know this. Because this is clearly not a buy. Like, this is not a buy. It may be setting up for one soon, but guess what? That pattern has not formed yet. If that pattern's going to form, guess what it has to do? It has to drop down at least to retest the zone, especially AU. If this is going to be anywhere near reversal, it has to retest this low. If it doesn't take it out, then we can look for it to break. Right? I'm playing out. It's the same thing on every single pair. Looking for it to, dude, are you come on. Shoot up. Retest, shoot up, right? Because as it does that, you'll see it. You'll see the water just slowly come around. It'll always retest off of that water, especially since it's divergent and it's oversold on the 1 hour and it's oversold, I believe, on the 4 hour too. It's almost extremely oversold. So this has not done the pattern yet. It's not divergence. So this divergence that you guys are seeing on this 1 hour right now is potentially just going to be a pullback, right? So what I mean by that is if the lower the time frame the divergence happens on, the smaller the chances of it actually reversing on a higher time frame. So because we're seeing it on the hour, yes, it may be divergent for a reversal because that's what divergence gives you. But because it's not on the 4 hour or the daily, that pullback on the hour is just, or that divergence on the hour is just telling you that small reversal that's going to happen on a lower time frame is just a mere pullback on the higher time frame. So what's going to happen is it's probably going to shoot down, right? Hit this low, not take it out, break this high, whatever it finishes here, breaks the high that's going to be set, comes back, retests it, which should line up directly with where the water is going to be. And then it should shoot up to this EMA, the Mayo, which would be ideal because the Mayo, guys, is the water on the 4 hour. So when you see it, and the water is the most commonly used EMA for specific pullbacks. So if you see it on the hour, oh, it's divergent on the hour, it's got to break the water in the hour and go up to the Mayo because that's the that's the water on the 4 hour. And it's all structured. So this is ideally what I'm looking for to happen. And then once it hits that area, that'll be the pullback because this is now technically a new low. This would be a pullback and then a drop. All right, so we'll be waiting on that too. I'll be seeing how that plays out. If this plays out correctly, then it's going to be dope. GJ, the pair that we have been rocking the last couple of days, dropped heavy. You guys kept paying attention, been saying for the last freaking 2 weeks that this shit was going to drop. Like, God, only stole half my heart and plenty of other people. But it's finally playing out to the way that we wanted it to play out. Let me go to here real quick. Just gotta clean this up. All right. Yeah, so 1-2 weeks I had it going for a drop. It consolidated long enough, dropped down, and guess what? It's going down to the recent low. There's no sign of a reversal. The 4 hour is not divergent. Yes, it's oversold, but it's outside the volatility bands. And they're moving downwards. This thing is going to continue down into the extreme overzone, which is going to put this thing right at the low. for either it to break it and be divergent and then possibly shoot up, because GBP pairs, guys, what they tend to do is they can break the lows and then they can continue back up, right? Because everyone's like, oh, well, double bottom is when it doesn't take out that low and then it reverses. That is true. But guess what else is true? When GBP pairs like to reverse, they also like to shoot down, break the low, be divergent on a higher time frame, and then they just throw a railroad or a morning star and they reverse hard as hell. So that's why GBP is that's why a lot of people like the pair, because they understand that rule, but then they also hate the pair because they don't understand divergence and they don't know what that means. All they know is it broke the low, it has to form a new high. Well, I'm here to tell you that GBP does not have to follow that rule. So if it breaks that low and it is divergent, I'm just saying this thing could still potentially shoot up and reverse. And the fact that the EMAs are really close right now can say a lot. But because of that, I don't think that's going to happen. Remember that pattern again, guys? Remember that pattern I showed you guys on UJ, and then what happened on AU? Drop, flag, drop. Same thing. We're looking for the continuation down, even on a higher time frame. There's no sign of this thing reversing on a weekly. There's no sign of this thing reversing on the daily. If this thing is going to go down or go up, if it wants to continue, it has to, either way, if it wants to be a nice buy, it has to shoot down. So you guys are literally just looking for sells in this. You're not buying. You're not buying. Just don't buy. Just don't buy. We'll look at the hour. The most I can see happening, stop hunt high, drop, retest, break the low. You can either get some quick pips, right? You can get quick pips out of that. Let's see where that would be. Right? We're going to play this accordingly. Let's see where this come on. We'll do this about here. Right? That's might where it be. It shoots down and then comes down to this low here. Guys, it's 100 pips. That's 100 pips. This thing could still shoot down. It's going to shoot down. It's going to shoot down. So this is going to be good. Euro AUD. Euro AUD, guys, and I saw this earlier. Y'all better be prepping for this shit to be a sell. This thing is going to be dropping for a minute. Dropping. And why do I say that? One, it's in the fringe. Look how close the EMAs are. That means consolidation. That means buy low, sell high. You're bouncing off at the lows and the highs. Guess what it did? And you know what's funny? This is why people, when you see the higher time frames, like this is the weekly. On the weekly, if you see pairs looking like this, the way they are right now, these reversal points that are here, 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 tend to be so easy to see. So hence you can catch more pips on a lower time frame. I have friends of mine play, I don't know if any of you are playing like NZD CAD, but NZD CAD like 4 months ago is literally looking like this. And I even said, like, literally, I hate that pair. I don't even look at the pair. It hit up top. It threw a railroad on the weekly. It's a CAD pair, so they throw railroads. And that shit dropped for literally 3 months straight. And I had people still racking out to this day on that. And guess what? They're like, dude, I just love this pair. It does exactly what I wanted to do. I'm like, yes, because on a higher time frame, you're buying low and selling high. And the patterns on those lower time frames, as you're witnessing it go up and down in the fringe on a higher time frame, those patterns are so crystal clear. The double tops are so easy. The M's and the W's, the head and shoulders, the inverted head and shoulders, the candlestick patterns are so simple. That's why when people rack it out, go look at the higher time frame. It makes it that much easier. So this is getting set up for a head and shoulders. You have the left shoulder, you have the head. You have the divergence and the overbought zone starting with the left shoulder, and you got the head coming down. It shoots down. It pulls back. I believe a friend of mine had this for a sell limit. And guess what? You're witnessing the top of the right shoulder. This is going to be the top of the right shoulder. And guess what happens after a right shoulder? Boom, drop. And this is the daily. So guess what you guys are looking for the rest of the month going into next month? Sells. You're looking for goddamn sells. This is why I like this. So it's going to be looking good over long term. You just got to find out, when do I sell? Don't just sell right now and like load the lots thinking, oh, you said sell. There's still some shit that has to happen. Look, it's divergent here. You guys see this? You got price coming up. You have price overbought coming down, or just hitting a flat wall. That means it could possibly do this. Drop, retest, drop again. Another head and shoulders forming for that overall right shoulder. Pattern within a pattern. Inception. It's the same. That's what I'm saying. Each pattern, each part of a pattern is going to be its own individual pattern. So this right shoulder of the overall bigger head and shoulders is a head and shoulders. So how do you get down to a precise entry? You wait for the pattern to happen. This is not just going to drop. If this is going to be a real pattern, this has to drop, pull back to form the right shoulder on the 4 hour, which you can snipe on the 1 hour, the 15 minute, and guess what? You can ride that bitch down all the way down to at least the recent low. Which, if that happens, let's say you guys are smart, which a lot of you are actually, and let's say it retests right off of the zone. Boom, you all gonna be mad at 400 pips? Don't think so. Especially on EA, shit pays out money. It pays out good money if you get the right lot size on it. So that's what we're looking at long term. So if you guys, for anybody looking for a pair to play long term right now for a specific pattern, just saying, EA is about to be making some moves. So EA may be a lot of your guys' best friends for the next couple months. A lot of people. I told the guys, we are selling the fuck out of EA. Like, this is gonna be the pair. Once it forms that pattern, we're taking it, man. We are taking it. All right, so that's what we're looking for. Just waiting for that pattern to happen. 4 hour, what is this? EG? Do you guys see? Remember, look at it. This is exactly what I was talking about. What we're looking at on EG: buy low, sell high. Look what happened. It hit that low, hit the supply zone, boom, shot up. And what happened last night? I said 2 things could happen. This is why I didn't want you guys to play it. One of the things I did say happened. It pulled back to that water, literally retested it, shot the fuck up. Right back up. So the next ideal zone that you guys can play, right, is when it shoots up to this high, and if it doesn't take it out and it throws wicks just like this, guess what? You're selling it. Back where? Back down to the low. Because this is one big massive fringe. And then guys, this is the hour, right? So you just saw Euro AUD on a weekly time frame, right? This is the weekly consolidation, breaking the high. This is EG on the hour. Notice it's the same movements. It's the same thing, except this is on the hour, so you can catch pips quicker. That one's on the weekly. You can literally ride pips from high to low, from low to high. So this one, you're just getting in and out. So ideally, none of you should be playing this pair because it's in the middle. Wait for it to shoot up, pull back, whatever, up until this high. If it doesn't break that high, you see wicks, you see M's, you see anything, you're selling it. But let's say this thing decides to reverse down. Guess what? You're still good because it never hit that top. So you're just waiting for it. This is, again, this pair you're not touching. Don't touch this pair until it hits a high or a low. All right, so that's my analysis on that. Because I can easily tell you like, oh, what it could do, but then you're going to be guessing. And now you're playing a game, and I can't have you guys guessing on what if pairs. You need to know what the fuck you're looking at. Otherwise, you're going to form bad habits. You're going to take dumb trades. You're going to over leverage your account because you think you're right, and you're going to watch your fucking money dwindle to zero. And I say that because I've done it multiple times. And trust me, it's not fun. So you need to know this beforehand. So I'm here to be your coach, I guess. That's why I'm such a hard ass on you guys. I guess I'm a nice hard ass though, I guess. GA. Everyone's saying about GA. It's about to drop. Look at it, broke the trend line. Solid. Daily. Oh, this one's getting ready to pull back. You guys see this? You see this is a weekly. Oh, it's not divergent on the weekly. But it's going to be consolidating between this zone, between the ketchup and the water. It's going to start consolidating between there, which is the mayo and the water on the daily. So this actually might drop, guys. Look at that fat wick on the daily, right on the 50. Oh, yeah, you guys are looking for a sell on this. You know what's funny too? This is setting up for a head and shoulders. So remember how I told you that this is like every wick, every candlestick on a higher time frame is another pattern on a lower time frame? Check this shit out. See if I'm not as crazy as I sound. Watch. I'm going to highlight the wick right there. And it's not just the wick. It could be the surrounding candles too, because this is setting up for an evening star. Now let's go to the hour. What does that look like? What does this look like it's getting ready for? You ready? Left shoulder, head, drop down hard, hit the last zone, retest, sell. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here all week. Because guess what? This right here is that massive wick you just saw on the daily. It's the head of a head and shoulders. And look, broke through the stationary 50. If anything, shoots down. You're waiting for it to retest on the 50 EMA as it comes across. And then either it's going to bounce off of it and continue, or it could come up to retest this high right there. If it does that, either or, you're just going to wait. You're going to sell it up here, or you're going to sell it right here. Here or here. And that's it. All right? That's what you're looking for. If it doesn't do that, guess what? You don't play it. That's how I would look for it. So bouncing off that water, this is getting good. Cool. So let's look at G Chief. This pair kept dropping. Oh, I'm still having this thing for a drop. Oh, man, it's not divergent. This is what we were looking for in the daily. I said I wanted to drop down to this. So if you guys played this pair last night, you could have made some pips. It happened at the beginning of this week too. Could have been riding this out all week. Broke that trend line. Oh man, it played perfectly. Literally, as we went over this, broke the trend line. We were literally looking at this pair. Look where we're at here. See how it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in? 1, 2, 3, 4. We were looking at the pair when it was right here. And I said, look, it broke the trend line, came back, retested it, then what? Drop. So y'all should have made some money on G-Cheap if you listened to that. And guess what? That was in a big channel as well. Let's look at this higher time frame. Oh my goodness. Look at the weekly. Yeah, this thing's about to be dropping, guys. Look at this. Drop this here. Drop it right there. Look at it. Broke the trend line. 1, 2, 3. Clean break. If this closes down here at the end of the week, guys, right, because this is the weekly candle. If it closes on here or lower or below this line by Friday, y'all are going to be looking for this thing to drop hard. It's going to be a nice drop. Look at that. Let me draw this in proportion because sometimes this will get a little out of balance. Look at this. Move this in a little bit. Right there. Look at it. Boom. Boom. Retest. Drop. It's so crazy. Look at this. Right on the daily. This is the daily one where it broke through the trend line, came back, retested it, dropped. Look what happened on the hour. This is the smaller one. This is the smaller one, right? The smaller trend line on the hour. What did it do? It broke it, retested it. It's the exact same thing. It went from the daily and the hour to the exact same shit. So there's another evidence. Oh my God, it works. Shit works. So you guys are still looking for sells. Continue. I mean, it is divergent. I mean, the most you could see, I mean, it is divergent. Starting here, starting here, coming down. So you could see this possibly shoot up, pull back, rise to at least where the water is going to be, or it's going to continue down, go down to that low. Right. So you just got to wait on this pair. This pair, because it has dropped so far already, I wouldn't expect it to continue to drop too hard, but we'll see what happens. It's either going to continue and just bounce off of this water and drop, or break the water, retest it real quick, and then go up to the next EMA for a nice little, let's say it's about here, like 30 to 40 pips, depending on where it happens. So that would be against the trend, which I don't obviously like to do, but if you guys would like to scalp, that's what you can look at. And then we have gold. Gold. What are we looking at? I gotta delete this real quick. Delete this. So it broke through this first trend line. It's not breaking that second one yet. It's getting really close though. See how it broke the trend line, boom, hit the next one, didn't take it out, still beneath the stationary 50. It is divergent, so we could possibly see some sort of pullback here in gold to retest that resistance zone that it broke through. Or we could just see a nice break. So right now it's in a tricky position. You guys see this too? Look, even better. Price going down, and then you have price extremely oversold going up, which is telling me to look for a potential buy to go up to here and then drop. All right, so you could see like a small buy today. For those of you that like to go inside of this stuff, this could actually be a small head and shoulders. Left shoulder, W for the head, shoots up, pulls back, bounces off of the zone right here for the right shoulder, and then continues up right here. All right. So now it's just about waiting. So this pair might shoot up tonight, but it could just consolidate in between these lines. So you're going to have to be really patient. Wait for it to push up and break that water. Wait for it to break through that resistance zone, and then we'll look for the patterns to shoot it for a pullback upwards. But yeah. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions real quick? I have another call to hop on in the next 5 minutes, but that was the group chart analysis tonight. For those of you that are new, welcome. Appreciate you guys coming on here. So now it's just about being patient and just waiting for this stuff to happen, guys. We'll see how this all plays out tomorrow. Again, it's midweek reversal, so whatever happens tonight, we'll see how things happen for Wednesday, and we'll make our adjustments from there. Let me post this back up on YouTube, and we'll get this shit going. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a great night.
Yo, Ryan.
What up?
You trying to hop on a Zoom call for London session again tonight if you don't got shit else to do?
Yeah, if I don't got shit else to do.
I'll slide.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a good night. Deuces. This will be uploaded. Yes, it will. I upload this to my page every night, so you guys will see it.
Oh my gosh, she's in there burning stuff.
What?
Well, it has a flamethrower. He's burning flies.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well,
these flies are just annoying as shit.
CCT Winner Circle. For those of you that are not in it, go look it up. Put it inside of all the groups. So CCT Winner Circle. Ask to join. All right. Goodbye, guys. Deuces. I'm out. Peace.